Welcome back to a Farmers Mid-Morning Show. This is your host, Noah Naseli Kadima, out of County 034, bringing you positive vibes from the farm. Today, we have been seeing, actually the past of the last few days, we've been seeing quite a number of people talking about rains, how it is affecting them positively and negatively. We've seen the traffic that comes with our Nairobi metropolitan city. Wow. Yesterday, I managed to get a bite of that traffic. I was reaching home way past midnight in a place that I take. Actually, yesterday I took, I think, 5 hours in a place that I take less than an hour. Actually, like 40 minutes. And it was crazy. Today, we're talking about something very interesting called about rain. For you as a farmer, the good, the bad, and the ugly about rains. And I am joined by my co-hosts.
Lillian Thomas, good afternoon.
Yes.
Stephen Kasie, an extension officer.
Karibu sana, karibu. Ulifika home saa ngapi jana?
11:09. Like, I have never been that traumatized. You see, let me tell you.
Yes.
I got to Donholm.
Yes.
From Donholm, I needed to take a mat. Hakuna mat. Nissan ilikuwa moja. And then kulikuwa na gang kubwa ya watu wa umoja. So the gang up and they're like, tupeleka umoja tutakulipwa so. Yes. So I am stuck here and I am thinking, what am I supposed to do? There's one motorbike kwa njia.
Oh.
Blunder. I got home. My brother is like, wow, si utafute tu nyumba Kitengela by the way huko.
Wewe umetuambia pale unaishi hata tushajua. Steve, nasikia ulala kwa.
Unasikia mwanaume anatembea na sanduku bwana, la nguo bwana.
Jana imebidi mwanze kutembea na sanduku.
Inabidi bwana.
Nasikia kuingia Kitengela was a nightmare.
Okay, nilitoka Kitengela 7. 7 and then I woke up at 9. Like I slept, nilingia kwa mat nikaanza kulala. I wake up at 9, niko Captain Lounge. Like I'm not even at Shalom. what is happening? I am at Captain Lounge and it's 9. So I'm thinking if it's 9, curfew starts at 10. I'm supposed to be past Donholm before 10. And then between Shalom and Cabanas, another hectic thing. Hadi around 10:30. By the time you're getting home, 11. No, we don't want to talk about traffic in Nairobi.
Wait. It was a mess. You know, yesterday, what was happening is that I think there was there's a new road from ICD that's going all the way to Olesereni. There was traffic there. Then there's some very interesting road there at GM. There's only one vehicle.
It's at a one lane.
One lane. So you can imagine hundreds of vehicles coming through. You know, it was really crazy, really crazy. But anyway, we're here back. Tell us where you're watching us from. Tell us what is the status of the rain. Now he's actually asking status of the rain. Is it flooding? I've just passed through at the river. The river it's full. Steve, how is the rain affecting farmers? Those who you've talked to.
Rain has a positive and negative effect to farmers. This is here where you will get that we have farmers which depend on rainwater and they don't do drip irrigation.
Yes.
So they only rely on rains.
Which are I think the biggest number of farmers rely on rains?
95% Sub-Saharan Africa.
Imagine.
95.
Yeah. So how is it affecting them now? Is it good? Is it bad? How is it now? Because it's crazy. Man. It's crazy.
Right now, the farmers who rely on rains, it has got them off guard. Many have not prepared their farms.
But
because
this is May people are supposed to be rains normally come in April.
But now the seasons
have changed.
Yeah.
Sasa umepatikana
ni kama zinabadilika. So unaweza pata the farmer was targeting to plant this season but akaenda kwa weather forecasting anaonyesha we don't have rain and the farm will just lie there and they do not cultivate it. So many farmers had that mind that the rains have gone, but they have come back and their lands have not been prepared. So that is a big problem on their side because you cannot prepare your land when it is raining heavily. Yeah.
Noah, actually it reminds me. You see, we are so used to the rain starting to March.
Yes, March 20th.
March 20th hapo.
In a break ground.
But then March 20th is my birthday. Anyway,
Story yako, mzee.
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
So people used to rain starting around March. And I remember last week I was watching the news, and there's a certain TV station.
Mhm.
It did a feature on a certain farmer in Trans Nzoia County.
Yes.
And this farmer plants maize.
Mhm.
And then alikuwa anasema the rains have delayed. Like he had, you see the way you prepare your land,
Yes.
you had even put your seeds.
Yes.
And then there was no rain. So he was like, anatoa seeds kwa mchanga ako, like the rain has not rained. You see now people were like, the rain is not coming
Yes.
anytime soon. So people were
Pressure.
relax.
Mhm.
Alafu sahi, out of nowhere, it is raining day and night.
Hey, it has rained. Yesterday it rained from I think I was on Lemuru Road in Parklands.
Mm.
It rained. We just stopped for I think like 20 minutes. But after that, everybody, you know, now there's no policeman to the cops are not there to control the traffic. Yeah. So now let us get to understand about rain, the positive, negatives, but most of it. Let us find out how are farmers coping. What can they do now, especially those who are not prepared land? Is there a shortcut? Wapige herbicide, do they apply herbicide and plant? If you had planted, you've not weeded. Kama I know sisi tuko na kitunguko tumepanda, you know. So I mean, we'll be talking to somebody from the farm there as well. So how can farmers cope with these rains?
I think in agriculture, we always advise farmers not to go on a shortcut way, because the shortcut is not always good. You get that they are getting broke. They will use or they will spend much in doing things that are not going to help them.
Yes.
So it's better they prepare their farms slowly by slowly for them to be able to achieve what they are targeting.
Yes.
So those who had not prepared their land, you know, when the farm has no crop, it will become weedy or bushy.
Yes.
So they have to keep the farm busy.
Yes.
Even if you spray the herbicides, I don't think if they will work, because you know
What is the best way? What is the best way? How do they cope now? Nimepanda, nilikuwa nataka kupanda nyanya. Nursery iko tayari. Shamba iko tayari. What do you do?
itabidi wafanyie kwa mvua sasa.
How?
Because
How do they do that?
they have to prepare the land then. Yeah. Because if you have seedlings and they have days
Yes.
in the nurseries,
Yes.
they will grow old and they will overgrow and you will not be able to transplant them. So when you are having your seedlings in the nurseries, you have to ensure that you are going with the period. Let us say tomato seedlings, they stay in the nursery for almost a month.
Yes.
So you will have to start preparing your farm when they are even 2 weeks old. Yeah.
So what you were telling farmers is they need to now start looking at climate.
Yeah.
They need to check the climate change.
And timing. Yeah.
Timing.
Yeah.
Very important. Tell us where you're watching us. This is a Farmers Media mid-morning show. Started a bit late today, but one of the challenges that we are seeing that farmers are facing is the challenge of rains and managing the raining. Now, another bigger challenge is not even rain only. The biggest challenge now is even harvesting. If you're harvesting now, things like onions, you start counting losses.
Yeah.
As an extension officer, Steve, how can you guide farmers and tell farmers, okay, now guys, you have to change your way of doing things? Do we talk about storage facilities? Do we talk about extra labor? Because the rains comes definitely with extra labor. What do you think a farmer who's doing onions, either about harvest or just planted? What do you think? Let's go first with the one who's just planted.
Okay. The farmer who has just planted should ensure that the farm, before you do any transplanting, you have to ensure that your farm is in a good state. That is when you are using drip irrigation.
Yes.
The beds are raised well to avoid the soil erosion. This is where when the bed has not been raised well, you will get that water will flood in your beds, and eventually when the water is too much,
Yes.
you will get that your crops are getting rotting and they will just die and you will not get what you are targeting.
Yes.
So before they do transplanting, they should ensure that all parts, when you are using drip lines, all parts has good conditions,
Yes.
which can or good drainage,
Yes.
to ensure that all waters that are going into the farm are being drained well and remain with what a crop can use.
So technically, it starts with land preparation. You
Yeah.
have to focus on land preparation properly and make sure that it's working out well.
Yeah.
So when it comes to drip irrigation and furrow irrigation, those are two different ways of watering. Do you think farmers who are now harvesting, let's now touch on harvesting, how do you cope with the rains? Do you wait for the window where at least an hour or two it's not raining and harvest? Or how do you cope with now things like, if, for example, you're harvesting onions, how do you go around that now?
Okay. When you want to harvest your onions,
Yes.
we normally advise our farmers not to harvest when the rains have rain, because the bulbs will be very dirty, and when you store them, they will have to start rotting, and you will get a big loss in the farm. Yes, you saw big bulbs, you saw good things in the farm, but ukitoa sasa the moment you are going to put in the store, you'll get one that's there. So we always advise our farmers to ensure that they are harvesting their onions when there is a dry spell.
But now, if you talk about that, wouldn't it? I mean, how does that now work with farmers who want to plant all year round? How do they cope with that? Because if I mean, Lillian, if you want to plant to have something you're selling all year round, considering raining, I mean, farming is a business. How do you do that? And it is raining in different areas. Do you reduce production when it is raining, or do you get? I mean, I'm trying to get to somewhere, but I don't want to lead you guys.
Personally, I feel like we need to invest in drying materials. You see, we are always talking about cooling nini for horticultural crops and stuff. You remember the discussion we were having this week on Africa Farmers Club, and we were asking about aflatoxin in maize, and aflatoxin usually comes, you see, when you harvest during the cold season, you store in cold conditions. And then we were like, we need to, like, someone suggested, like, the government should do something about drying facilities such that you get to dry your products vizuri, such that they don't get infected. I think it's time we looked into that, because sasa hauna solution ingine. Mvua imenyesha, alafu utacha kila kitu irot. Like, we need to think of a plan B, and to find out these drying materials. Maybe like a farmer alone, Steve peke haizi nunua. And then another issue of farming cooperatives comes in, what the government is doing, what the Ministry of Agriculture is doing, what they ought to do. Like, tunafaa tukuwe na plan B sahi.
Just in case it doesn't, in case it rains, what to do?
The climate is very unpredictable right now, Noah.
Hey, my friend, you know, I was
talking... zinaanza May, sahi ndio zinaanza kukua serious. That is very unpredictable.
But do you think we are doing enough as farmers ourselves? Because we cannot keep, with climate now, you cannot blame government.
No,
you cannot blame anybody. Do you think farmers are doing enough? Are there tools enough to be farmers can use, like mobile apps, something that farmers can be able to use to check this?
Yeah.
How useful would this be?
This one will just help our farmers to know the time the rains will be, the onset of the rains, and the offset. So they will just plan themselves between the season.
But now the intensity, intensity, uzito ya mvua tayari. You see, the onset and the offset is fine. But now how heavy? Because in Kajiado, we don't normally experience heavy rains. But now it is crazy.
It is not normal.
It's more than, So anyway, as we do this, as we discuss about this, you as a farmer, let us know what your experience is. We've seen some of the farmers. I've actually been following some of the discussions in some of the groups. And I'm seeing quite heavy losses on the part of farmers. We are terribly sorry. I am a victim. I am a past victim of rains. I lost everything on my farm some a while back. That was in 2018. Everything.
The farm flooded.
Yes, everything. Greenhouses were carried. We were doing propagation seedlings. We lost 8 acres of propagated seeds. We had just propagated, I think, 2 days. 2 days before that. And we'll actually be talking to somebody who was part of that experience.
How did you recover?
I am back. So let us know in the comment section where you are watching us from, and let us know how the rains have affected you, whether it's positively and negatively. We have a poll that is also going on in Africa Farmers Club. Let us get to see that again. We will be taking a very short break, and we will come back and we will talk about rains, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We will take a short break. Welcome back to Farmers Mid Morning Show. Your host Noah Nasiali Kadima, and I'm joined by our extension team. Team extension. So, and we're talking about something very interesting: rain and farmers. How have the rains affected you as a farmer? We have a poll that we have actually created, and the poll is very interesting because what it is touching on is something very interesting. It is actually coming out clear that yes, rain has both effects. Lillian, we're seeing that quite a number of people saying that it has affected them positively.
11, actually.
We are seeing the negative ones are also there.
7.
We have Tony Lihanga, who is actually saying is copying, one of the people who saying they're copying. Share your thoughts. Let us know how it is affecting you. The traffic jam on Mombasa Road, let us know how it is affecting you as a farmer. And most importantly is that to get to discuss this, one of the things that we want to discuss is to make sure that we're touching on everything that farmers are doing, everything that farmers are, their activities. And why this is important is because that is the only way we can be able to tell the story of the African farmer, And Steve, before we went for a break, you said something very interesting. Farmers need to learn their farming activities.
Yeah.
You cannot blame anybody for that.
Yeah.
What mechanisms have you seen that farmers are able to learn from so that they can be able to cope with these challenges?
Okay. In fact, where I was, we had a big challenge from rain, negative one. So we had not dug all terraces all around the farm. So when
the place I visited,
yeah, the rains came and all waters were directed to the farm, and the crops were swept away.
Yes.
So after that, we had to ensure that we are doing good drainage by digging terraces around the farm to ensure that we are directing the waters away from the farm.
Okay.
So we did that, and when the rains came, we didn't have any problem of drainage.
Yes.
The farm was good. Because as you observe the topography, the slope was a little bit steep.
Yes.
But when the water came from upside, it can sweep all the topsoils, and the topsoils are the one which has nutrients, and it will go with all crops, and will have a big loss. So, so many farmers cope with that when they do good drainage.
Yes.
So you have to ensure that your farm has a good drainage, and also you should not let all water to go out, because even if it is raining, you need some water, even if you are doing a drip irrigation to support your farming.
Now you've brought something very interesting, and I'm saying Lillian laughing. I'm doing drip irrigation. It is raining. Do I need to water my crops?
No.
Why not?
When it's raining, the rainwater penetrates
Deeper.
Yeah, deeper. So you will not have let us say the rains have stopped for at least 2 days, and those 2 days the crops will be using rainwater.
Yes.
So you'll have to wait for almost 3 days for you to start watering your crops. When you just put your water there, you'll be getting a loss, because already the soils are not dry.
So does that mean that? Okay? Let me correct me. Does that mean that I since I normally water my crops every day, if it rains today, I don't need to water tomorrow?
Yeah.
But I water every day on drip, and drip also water works. I mean, it's an argument that it's a very valid argument that a farmer really challenged me. A very young farmer challenged me and asked me, but this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Why do we have to water every day? And if you don't water every day, wouldn't it cause this plant is used to getting fresh water every day. If I wait for 3 days, how does it work? Lillian, what do you think?
No, sometimes the rainfall amount is too much. Now imagine the rainfall imenyesha more, but then you see the way rainfall water percolates into the soil, and then you add drip. That's
it pako what?
That's it. Ulienda shule no.
Okay,
it is population.
Okay, yes.
So and then you add drip irrigation on top. You tend to find yourselves will be waterlogged. So I think you have to pay attention to the rainfall amount. You see, when you touch your soil,
Yes.
sometimes ukishikanga mchanga unaweza pata bado iko na moisture. If you find it still has moisture, you don't really need to
Even if
apply.
you're doing drip.
You
Okay.
don't have to.
Interesting. Very
You
interesting.
don't have to.
Very interesting. And we want to just talk to a few farmers who have been affected. We'll first of all talk to Joseph. Joseph is a very good friend of mine. He is all the way from Lodwar. He's one of our farmers from Lodwar. And it's a very interesting scenario because Lodwar is normally very dry and very hot. Hata tutamuuliza hiyo. Hapo umeniangusha.
As you call him,
Yes.
there's something that Steve mentioned you can interest, especially with the nutrient loss.
Yes.
So with too much rainfall, you find the soils tend to lose a lot of nitrogen.
Yes.
Leaching occurs at a very high rate.
Yes.
Yes, it's something that the farmers have to be very keen about, especially with their nutrient application, especially nitrogen. If your plants really need the nitrogen, it's something wanafaa wakwe very keen right now. Yeah.
So it's a scenario that now these are some of the things. Actually, we'll touch that on the second part of the show, but we just want to get Joseph on phone just to hear what the challenges they're coping with, the opportunities that are there. You know, when it rains, the people who have different opportunities. So let us just find out from Steve if you can get him on phone. Let us see if you can get him on phone here. But as we do that, let's just find out. Because you see, when you talk about, you said percolation.
Tumia yenye umezoea.
Okay, let us get Steve. Joseph. I cannot get him on phone. Let's try that again. Yeah. So when you talk about the percolation, so let us see if we can get Joseph on phone. Anyway, he'll let us know. Yeah. So which areas are prone to get water? I mean, one of the things that I always say is that is it possible to get farmers to be able to understand how to even start looking for the land in the right places? How do you determine that? When is the best time to look for land? Is it when it's raining or when it's hot?
When it's raining.
Why?
Because
yes.
You may get a good place, and there's a friend of mine who narrated a certain story on me.
Yes.
And he said that there's a certain guy who bought a land.
Yes.
When the rains were not there. So when the rains came,
yes,
alipata kwamba kumbe penye amejenga nyumba hapo ni mto. So the house was carried away, everything was carried away, and the guy went a big loss. Yeah. So the right time
is when it's raining.
When it's raining, you know, this is a good
Shida ya Wakenya ni nini? Why are we having con men? Why are you selling somewhere that you know it is a river? Why are you selling a river?
Me, I've gone through that still same experience, but it was a very different experience. I got some land somewhere when it was dry, when it was wet. Kumbe huko mvua inanyeshanga mara moja kwa mwaka.
And it's gone.
I'm telling you, I went there when it was dry. In fact, I told those guys hapana mmenibadilishia shamba. Because it was, when we went to, it had just rained and it was green kabisa. Na unajua kulima tunataka tu kutafuta shamba ya kulima. Where it was dry, there was no, in fact there was dust. Sasa wacha manyasi, unajua kuna bali unaona manyasi na imebaki. It is dry. You know, so let's try and get Joseph again here on phone and see if we don't get, we'll look for someone else. So if you're talking about this aspect of actually farming and rains, at what point should farmers start thinking, oh no, I need to do this? And as you're talking about leaching, how does rain affect leaching and the plant growth and plant health?
Okay. On the side of leaching,
yes,
I will get that this is the topography of the land which will affect the crops and will lead to leaching.
Yes.
When the farm is flat, the water will tend to log and it will drain all the nutrients that are at the
Yes.
top, which are useful to the crop.
Yes.
Then they will be drained down or deeper where the root hairs can't reach, and the crop will not be able to get the nutrients that are required for growth.
Okay.
And also, when the slope is steep, the topsoil will be carried away, and the soil that is remaining,
Yes.
which is the second layer,
Yes.
it is not having the nutrients that the crop is required. That is required by the crops.
Okay.
So you will get that your crops are not growing well, because all the nutrients that are required at the certain stage they have been swept away, or they have been drained from the crop, away from the crop.
So which soils, Lillian? I just want to. I know you soil. Wewe na mchanga mko pamoja. Which are the best soils when it's raining? Which is the best soils when it's not raining?
You really need well-drained soils, but I don't know how I'm supposed to be phrasing this.
Phrase it like this farmer's Ghanaian, and don't use percolation.
I will rephrase your question again.
Which is the best soils when it's raining?
Best soils.
Yes, the ones that can avoid waterlogging and things like stuff like that. Yes.
The loam soils are very well drained, so you find you have less of waterlogging. But when you have soils like clay, clay tends to hold a lot of water.
Okay.
But at the same time, it holds a lot of water. But mvua ikiwaka, that place dries.
Mvua ikiwaka ama jua ikiwaka?
Jua ikiwaka.
I stick to percolation. Yes.
But jua ikiwaka, it dries. So you find that depending on the soils that you have, and then sand pia iko na shida zake. But you see, when you have well-drained soils, like the volcanic soils that you find mostly in Kenyan places, they are well-drained, hazinanga shida mingi. But now the black cotton, the clay soils, ndio leta shida kidogo na drainage. That is where we always advise, like, you try, and the way Steve alikuwa anasema, you ensure you have proper drainage in your farm.
Okay.
Ndio usikuwe na shida za waterlogging.
But now let me ask you, when you talk about waterlogging and all these challenges that farmers are facing, who will educate farmers? Whose role is this to educate farmers, honestly speaking? I know we are here as a farmers media, but who should be able to do this? Is it the county government? Is it the national government? Is it the Ministry of Agriculture? How many seed companies? Because remember, the seed companies, farmers are buying seeds from you. Yes, the fertilizer companies.
Right now, I think we have devolved agriculture.
Yes.
I don't know why we are still placing this thing under the national government, because at the county level, these people know what's happening on the ground.
In fact, jana kuna mtu nilimwambia juu ya
county governments. Because me, I feel like, because in a county, you're managing a very small place, like it's your own county peke. That is very easy to pass information, to handle and everything. You see, tukianza kwenda na national government, it will take a while to get to this place, this other place.
But why should it take long?
But then again,
yes,
no, we are devolved. What was the essence of devolving? What was the essence? If things are not going to the ground. Politics.
Yeah, so I think we have to come in as stakeholders, different stakeholders in the agricultural sector, to be able to guide farmers well. You know, the availability, the inavailability of extension services is paining, and that's something that comes in. What are these things that farmers need to look for? You know, is it weather pattern? I mean, who should give farmers this information? Because ni mingi, by the way, imagine farmers looking at rain gauge. You know, a rain vane, I mean, wind vane, looking at climate, farmers looking at seed variety, farmers looking at leaching, farmers looking at fertilizer. Is there one thing that we can be able to see some organizations can be able to be good with and guide other farmers? Do you know of any organization that has, I mean, does it start from extension services, or does it start with the passion, a farmer having passion?
Okay. First, I will get that when the person wants to start farming, some have passion, but some will just go and try to get prior knowledge before they start. But now, you know, agriculture has been thrown to the county government.
Yes, not thrown. They took it. I remember they took it. And they get a lot of money out of it.
Okay. Yes. So everything in the sector of agriculture is on counties. So
Yes.
some counties
Yeah.
fail to
to
employ
yes.
the extension officers who can help the farmers.
Like let me ask you, Steve.
Yes.
Now that you're talking about that, don't you think that's a good opportunity, market revenue opportunity for extension officers?
Yeah.
I'm an achoma.
For example,
yes.
in our county,
yes,
we have farmers, but we get that the extension officers are very few. But there are many who have gone for that studies, and they are well and they are expertise in that field. But we get that there are few and they just operate in only big farms, and the small farmers also require the knowledge. Yes. Now we will get that the small farmers are getting away from the agriculture because they don't have knowledge. But wakikuwa wengi waseme we have senior extension officers and the junior ones to go and collect all the information from the small farmers and give the information to the senior ones, the thing will go well. But if you just neglect or the county just neglect and don't give us the jobs, it will go. Yeah.
All right, let's look for somebody else who has been affected by the rains, and they want us to tell them for him to tell us basically how it is affecting them. We're talking to Bonnie. Let us see if we can be able to get him on phone here. We are not able to get Joseph, but we'll try and get him after the break. Let us see. Yes, Boniface. One Boniface. Tuko kwa studio hapo, tuko pamoja na Lilian Mora ametuma salamu. Tuko na Steve hapa pia ametuma salamu.
Jambo sana, wapate pia zangu.
Anasema watu huko wanapenda kusikiza salamu sana. Sema Boni, unaendeleaje huko?
Tuko salama sana.
Yes.
Ni kamvua kamenyesha jana. Tangu juzi imenyesha jana pia. Pia leo tumeamkia na mvua, lakini mvua inakuanga baraka kutoka kwa Mungu.
Na watu wanasema mvua imekataa. Nakumbuka siku ile ya Kinani vile mvua ilinyesha. Hebu sema hiyo ilikuwaje bana? Ulionaje hiyo vile mvua ilitunyeshia huko Kinani siku za kwanza?
Wakati tulikuwa tunaanza kazi. Sasa I think uniulize kitu kwanza kuhusu hapo ndo nikuelezee hiyo story mzuri.
Sasa Lilian
kuanzisha peke yangu ni kama itakuwa ni
unaweza haribu. Sasa Lilian anauliza.
Yes.
How did tulicope namna gani na hiyo losses? Nini kwa maoni yako unaonaje nini ilitupatia nguvu ya kuamka tena?
Nguvu ya kufanya kazi tena mara ya pili
baada ya mvua kutuangusha. Ama ilituangukia. Yes.
Sasa Lilian, hata ndo tuanze hiyo kazi sasa ndo tulikuwa tumepatana tu.
Yes.
Sasa ndo tulikuwa tumepatana na nilikuwa napita tu. Uliona tu nilikuwa napita kwa barabara. Ndo nikapata kuna mashida mingi hapo ya shamba. Nilikuwa natamani kufanya hiyo kazi ya ukulima hiyo. Lakini sasa sikuwa nimepata kama kitu kama platform ya kuanzisha nini vitu kama hizo.
Yes.
But sasa venye nilikuwa napita nikaona hizo vitu zimeharibika. Na sikuwa nimefanya hiyo course ya farming. Nimefanya vitu different sana. So nikapita hapo nikaona, nikakuja tukaangalia. By that time hata huku unanijua pia. Ndo tukajuania hapo tu. So mi venye nilikuja hata nilikuwa nakuja kuona nini ime-happen juu I used to buy mboga kwa hiyo shamba, ndio? Nikapata greenhouse zimeanguka. Imebeba nyanya, vitu zenye nilikuwa nanunua. Kila kitu imeharibika kwa shamba.
Yes.
So mi kitu nilisikia from hapo, nilisikia ukiuliza hiyo kijana alikuwa anaishi hapo. Tunaweza pata wapi fundi wa kurepair hizi vitu?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alafu
so nikakuwa tu na nguvu na sijawahi fanya. Kaambia kijana anaulizia mtu wa kutengeneza. Nikamwambia ngoja tu mzee aende. Nikirudi jioni nione kama tutaunda, alafu tutamwambia tumepata fundi amefanya nini? Ametengeneza hiyo kitu. So ulienda tu. Tukakuja jioni tulifanya ilikuwa kama guesswork lakini ili work.
Ile nabuliza Boni swali.
Ulifanya guesswork gani hiyo Boni? Explain kidogo.
I explain
Yes.
Sasa fundi alikuwa ameitishwa atengeneze greenhouse like today. That was it. Ilikuwa kitu saa I think ilikuwa kitu saa 6. Pia mi kule nilikuwa natoka kulikuwa kumenyesha, pia kazi imekatika. So tunajua Lilian, kitu hujawahi fanya unabahatisha, sijui utafanya mzuri baadaye ulaumiwe. So ili happen kitu kama hiyo. So tukajaribu, lakini ili work na ikarudi sawa kabisa.
Na tukalima tukaendelea.
Na tukalima hata nikaingia kwa farming kuanzia hapo mpaka wa leo. So unaona niko hapo
katikati ya farming. Sasa kabla tukupatie fursa ya kutuma salamu. Kajiado mvua inanyesha. Nasikia inanyesha usiku na mchana.
Kajiado it's raining heavily.
Now what opportunity gani ambayo wakulima wako nayo huko Kajiado ambayo hawajapata kwa muda? Nasikia kama ule jamaa wa kitunguu ule wa garlic anasema mvua imenyesha hata hakuna hawezi enda kwa shamba. Ni nini ya vile unaangalia wakulima kwa experience umekuwa nayo? Wakulima wanaweza kufanya nini ili waweze wasiende hasara mingi sana?
Sasa huku Kajiado watu wengi hawalimi sana. Hata hivyo nilikuwa na request like sisi tunalima huku Kajiado. Tupate like watu wengine kama 5. Sisi peke yetu hatuwezi lisha hii watu wote huko. Sasa tupate watu wengine 5 tuwasaidie pia, tusaidiane, yani huyu kulima tushikane pamoja. Ndio tuweze kulisha hii Kajiado wapi kila mahali.
Kabisa.
Yes.
Sasa tuma salamu.
Sasa salamu sijui kutuma bwana, lakini
tuma salamu.
Salamu sijui kutuma lakini.
Sawa, salamia wale huko kwa shamba wote.
Okay.
Safi kabisa.
Asante.
Umesikia tumeulizwa swali moja. Can we get 5 farmers that can be able to grow so that we team up? Oh no, not just team. Is that one of the things that farmers can do to survive?
Yeah.
How do you think, as an extension officer, how do you think is the best way of bringing these farmers?
Okay. For example, you as an experienced farmer, you know things on the ground. So we'll get that we have new farmers like that one in Maltisa.
Yes.
So he is new in this field.
Yes.
So he's looking for you every time and then to help.
Yes.
So when we go there, help him and the business go well, we'll get that his friends, when they come visit and will be interested in the same thing.
Yes.
So you'll get that we are building the chain.
Exactly.
We have something that is called tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes.
So we have that chain. So you get that we are having we are having
that has been translated directly.
So
yes,
you get that we are having a big number of farmers from one person.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Lilian, what do you think is the opportunity where extension officers, especially ladies, have to be able to support farmers? I know you did discuss this a few days back.
We've
Two.
discussed it severally.
Yes.
Pardon.
2 things that farmers, especially extension officers, especially ladies, can be able to support farmers because there's a level of trust that farmers tend to have. Yes.
So it's more of providing information on the ground.
Tell
Yes,
us.
it's more of providing information.
Yes.
Because something that, Kwanza, when we were talking about extension officers, there's something I remembered.
Yes.
A while back when I called Thomas Upundo in studio.
Yes.
And he is from Ugenya Ward. He said Ugenya West Ward. And he said that they have one extension officer from the Ministry of Agriculture controlling the whole of Ugenya West Ward. And it actually shocked me.
And
it
they have
shocked one from the Ministry of Agriculture. And then, I don't know if it's okay if I mention this, he said the other extension officers they have are from 1 acre fund. But when these people come and they are trying to address the farmers, these people talk low. So he was addressing things like issues, barrier, language
barriers,
so people don't understand and everything. And then sometimes he was saying farmers are like, they just want to be trained on the ground. So ukianza kuwaita forums, discussions, you trying to teach them, it doesn't work. They won't show up. They want you on the ground. But you see, these people are few. they can cover very few farmers.
Yes.
But the extension officers right now, I think there are a lot, but I think the problem we have, Noah,
Yes.
you see, like most fields, the medics and everything, they
Yes.
have a body under which people are registered. If you are certified, you are registered, and everything, unapata things run very smoothly.
Na kuona pale unaenda endelea.
And
Tunakusindikiza hapo.
then there is agriculture.
Yes.
Like it has, I feel like it doesn't have a proper structure, honestly. I feel like the industry doesn't have a proper structure.
Do you think
At all.
agriculture should have been devolved?
Yeah.
Why?
Agriculture.
What was the importance of devolving agriculture then? Considering we don't have ministry, I mean, allocation of agriculture is the main employer, main industry that actually supports the economy.
Yeah.
But why devolve that?
This is because you'll get that when the agriculture was still on the national government, the small farmers, as I said, they were not getting the services from these extension officers or agronomists. So the government sat down and saw that when we devolved this agriculture, our farmers, our small scale farmers, will be able to get this information from their counties. So
do you think that is the case?
Yeah.
Is it happening?
It's happening, but
are you sure?
Some counties.
How many extension officers have you met in
but
Kajiado County?
But some counties.
How many extension officers have you met in Kajiado County?
I've never met even
so
one.
Do you think it's working?
So
considering Kajiado is one of the biggest counties in Kenya.
I was in 2017.
Yes.
I think I was in Maseno in Kisumu Northwest Ward, and they had a senior extension officer 1 and the assistant 1. So when we went there, we were taken as extension officers. We get that the real extension officers are just sleeping. They don't come in the office. They don't attend to farmers. So we are the one going to teach the farmers and helping them. So the counties somehow hide, or they tend to take our amounts, and they don't give us jobs. They just give us contracts.
Yes.
So they don't employ permanent. They have only one permanent extension officer, which is a big problem.
Yes.
So, for example, we have those small scale farmers.
Yes.
Ilikuwa inanibidi, I go to the farmers, I demonstrate, I do everything just the way Lillian said. You have to demonstrate to the farmers for them to see what you are doing. But when you just sit in the office and just communicate with them in the phone, they not know what is going on.
Wow, interesting. Yes. Deep. So that's a discussion that we need to have deeper, and we'll be looking for. For me, I think devolution could have worked, but
like the picture it had in mind.
We should have
get to the local one.
Exactly. Actually, we should have had strategies. Probably agriculture being something like one of the biggest foreign earners because of the exports. We should have said, let us first of all, each county to be mandated to train extension officers, revive them, because I mean it's sad when a county only allocates less than 5% of its budget to agriculture, and yet it's something that can earn much more.
It's the backbone.
Exactly.
Of Kenyan economy.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if it's the backbone anymore. I'm not sure.
It's the backbone, but so they are neglecting.
Let's just say the picture it had in mind would have worked, but things on the ground has work vile zinafaa.
Why?
They're not as effective. I feel like it's a matter of accountability. Unasikia venye anasema storia, you have an extension officer but haendi job. And no one is making this person accountable. Because why are you not reporting to work? Why are you not doing your duties? And you're being paid for this. And then you see even the local mwananchi, you're not going back to address because it's your right. If these people have been put here, they're supposed to be working for you. You are supposed to make them accountable for their things that they're doing. But pia mwananchi pia amerelax. Ametulia. Hauna services but you're okay.
No, see, you're okay. They don't know that those services are supposed to be there.
They don't have information.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much for having tuned in with us. This has been a Farmers Made Morning Show. We started a bit late. We are here every day, Monday to Friday, 11 to 1 p.m., getting to tell you more stories about African farmers and how the challenges that farmers are facing. We have been discussing about trains, and we have seen that a bit more opportunities are there, and challenges are there. They're continuing to be there. And we want you to tell us much more. Tell us where you're watching us from. Tell us how the rains have affected you. But most importantly, let us know what opportunities do you have as a farmer that you can share with other farmers. This has been a Farmers Meet Money Show. Till tomorrow, have a good day.